on the last ride, I had an issue where I went to start the sled after having a break, and the pull cord pulled out, but didn't go back in.
Uh-oh. It didn't recoil back.
Common Skidoo problem. I do not have an electric starter, so I had to restart the sled manually. There's a link to that video up here. Right now we're going to take the recoil off and see what's up with this thing, if we can repair it, or if it needs parts, or if it needs a complete recoil kit. We're going to get to this right now. And we're just going to take the can off here. And when you reinstall this, make sure that's as straight up and down as possible. That's what BRP techs recommend. You'll see that in a video where BYR Adam Furlong tells you that little tip. We're going to remove the exhaust springs using a spring tool like this. Should be just the one there, the two here, and there's one in the bottom there. There you go. There. Just like that. And that's and there's two more here and up there we gotta pull out. There you go. That piece comes out. So I got a really long T40, and that's going to do the trick. Okay, recoil is off. We're not going to lose too much by cutting that off like that. Yeah. And then this can come out. Let's have a look at this. It's pretty forgiving. There we go. So this is the recoil here. It appears to me the spring's lost its spring. Let's go to the bench. It's a snap ring, yeah.
Work your way around.
Just
There
like
you go.
that. And this should come off. Keep these pieces in order.
This is also the best part, good part about filming stuff like this, if you ever forget the order.
And then this thing here has a tab there. I just want to make sure that that in the tabs. No, that's normal. I think what we're going to find is underneath here there's an issue. And then this red thing comes off. This should lift out now. This is the problem.
Ooh, look at that.
And it winds it around. So yeah, we've got an issue. And that is sprung tight against the wall. Everything else looks in good shape. I don't see any other broken parts. But yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll stay tuned. I'll do that tomorrow. But you can get these parts at the dealer, your local Skidoo dealer, or even on Amazon. I'll put the links to Amazon down in the description. If you want to order from Amazon, that's easy. It'll be there probably the next day if you have Prime. Same deal though. This is the recoil spring. It's part number 11-158, and they're pretty much standard for all Skidoos. We're going to pop that in here. It comes pre-bound, so it's all ready to go. And then we've got a new starter rope as well. So I'm just going to pull this one out. Be very careful and wear safety glasses when you're doing this, because this stuff is under high tension. So it it can be dangerous if it comes at you. Wearing gloves too. I don't want it to snap at me. You see that? That was under tension, so it's going to come out now and start unwinding like that. I want to just, I'm going to keep it tight and then throw it back in the bag so it doesn't go all snarly on me in the garbage can as well. There you go, that bag will hold it. There we go. And then the new one here, I'm not going to clean up anything in here. I'm going to clean around in here, but I won't touch any of that because it's graphite grease and I don't want to mess with that. So I'm going to pull my gloves off for a second and just kind of line up that hook there, and I'm just going to apply some downward pressure like so. And keeping the pressure on the spring, I'm going to let it unwind a bit as I pull that off. I don't want it to come out of that gear. I'm just going to let it unwind until it wraps around the wall. And there, your spring is in place, just like that. Now, like I said, I'm going to wipe that up, and then we're going to put it together. Didn't look like it needed a rope, but you know what? I had it apart, and I thought, you know what? Might as well replace it while I got it apart, you know? Okay, let's put this thing back together. I'll just wipe up the outer edge. Again, I won't touch nothing in the middle there just in case, you know. And that'll set that in there. You make sure it's pressed all the way down. Then we'll put the pawl together. And if you remember when we took it apart, we had this tab in just to the right of that. I actually went back and referenced the video, so it moves back and forth like so. This bushing goes in, and then the rubber O-ring, you can either set it on the shaft or pop it into the top part like that. I'll pop it in first. Push that down like so, and then we can push our snap ring on. Push it on until it clicks. And then we've got our Recoil reassembled, ready for action. Okay, now there's about 1 foot of recoil on here. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the rope in, and if you've watched Pasty Boy's videos, his recoil that he rebuilt a few years ago was from his ZX, and same with my old F chassis. It was the same deal. Had a little, you push the rope in, and then there was a little bit of a wedge that holds the rope in. In this case here, it's a different, I believe this is an improved design for BRP, although you still hear people complain about it. It doesn't have the wedge, it actually just uses a knot in the end of the rope. So I'm going to burn this end so that it doesn't fray anymore. I want to kind of shape it too as I go, so it's actually got a little bit of a point to it. Once this starts to tension, so we'll call that starting to tension, we're going to do 5 turns. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just going to put a work clamp on this to hold that in place. Not too tight, just hold it like that. Just gently feed it through. Be careful not to fray this. This is going to be the handle end anyway, so it doesn't really matter. That's starting to move now. There we go. See it peeking out the other side there. Sometimes if you have a little basket of snakes and a flute, it would help. All right. We're going to tie a little knot in this. Just one overhand knot's good. Get it right near the end if you can. Like that. Make sure it's not going to come undone with some force. Then we're going to pull this through like so. Push that down into its little home. We're going to tie this one just in a gentle loop overhand just until we get it back in the sled, because we're going to have to untie it to feed it through to route it like that. And now we can gently undo our clamp, and we're going to let this come back. There we go. And now you can see we've got a recoil that now works again. So let's get this thing on the sled. So I'm actually going to move my knot up the line a bit, so I've got enough rope to feed through to get the handle out. Might as well tie the handle loosely on it now too. That's just in case it decides to try and run back in there on us. I'm just going to loosely tie this on. Take this knot out now that we've got the handle end secured. Okay, this can set back in here now like that. I'll just start these all loose. This is a handy tool. Good and tight. Like German hooker. It's just plastic, so they don't have to be overly. Like that. That goes behind there. That's looking good. Okay, we got this.
Sound good?
Yeah. Cans in, you put the exhaust sensor in. Keep this tube straight up and down, as vertical as possible.
You gotta get a line.
Tighten that up. That's good. That make sure it's not going to
through that though.
Yep.
That should be good. Go for it. First bolt.